just like Jackie Brown, the last cat down. Now I burn through my days, too cool for school. Drop getting pays with the mirror max bills. Yeah, they cut the deal, roast you for real. Soon as take has make cast, they bust you over.
Call them what you will, endos, rolling stoppies. There's even a few times Chinese wheelies been said. I think that's a dirt bike boy term, but regardless, rolling on the front wheel can be just as gratifying as pulling a long wheelie down High Street. And you're going to apply the same principles except in reverse. Instead of accelerating hard, you're going to decelerate just as hard as you can. A few things to keep in mind though. One is body position. You want to sit square up as far as you can against the tank. And when you're going to hit the brakes hard, squeeze the tank with your knees. Just keep that in mind. It's going to keep your body nice and square. It's going to keep the bike under control. Second of all is a steering damper. You can have just as nasty of a tank slapper when you're up on the front wheel as you can coming down from the back wheel, and it'll spit you off just as quick. You want to crank that thing right up nice and tight because you don't want that front wheel moving anywhere when you're in the air. Third of all is road surfaces. Shell grip's always nice and sticky, but backcountry roads are not the place to try anything like this. They're crowned, the camber will throw you off, and also just poor surfaces will wash the front tire out. Speaking of front tire, you want the stickiest front tire you can have, but remember to warm it up. A cold tire is just as bad as a terrible surface. With that in mind, there's not a whole lot to it. I'll talk you through it. Just remember, take it slow. Don't try to do too much too soon, you'll be fine. Have a look. All right, back up here at Brunningthorpe. We're going to do the rolling stoppie here, but you have to crawl before you can walk, and this is the first step. You take off hard, you just accelerate into second gear, 50, 60 miles an hour. Just get hard on the front brakes and slow the bike as quickly as you can. You just want to get comfortable with the front end diving and feeling that power that the front brake has. So take off, first gear, second gear, and hit the brakes. So the back wheel came up there about probably 6 inches. But if it's your first time, it's going to feel like it was 6 feet in the air. Same as a wheelie, really. First time the front tire comes up, seems like it's a lot higher than it really is. First time the back tire comes up, you think you're going to flip over the handlebars, but don't worry about it. Just get comfortable being heavy on the front brake. Just take off, second gear, pulling the clutch, and just get hard on the front brakes. And see, just as you come to a stop, the back wheel just pops up a little bit. Now, instead of that nice progressive front brake, you'll find a lot of people come along and just grab a handful. One of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to slide and lock the front tire and slide it and probably fall off, or you're just going to do a pop-up endo, which isn't really what you're after. I'll show you what we mean here. So you take off. There, you pop the back tire up, but there's not really any control there. You're slowing down, you're slowing down, you're slowing down the last minute. You do some silly kind of thing like that. You're not really going to get any farther than that if you don't get used to braking heavily. Now to carry that back wheel a little bit further, you just want to give a slight bit more front brake. The back, you just want to have it come up nice and smooth, not too quick. There's not really too much adjustments you have to make on the front brake once the back wheel comes up. The higher you want, obviously, the more brake you apply. But you just come right up, hold it, set it down. Alright, so now we know what it feels like to brake heavily. So it's going to be the same thing again, just a little bit more brakes this time. Now to get that back wheel to come up quickly and smoothly, you just want to scoot, slide up against the tank, And when you're on those brakes, squeeze your knees into the fuel tank. That's gonna keep your body stable. So you just take off. Start to hit the brakes, comes up and down.
When you can, but you watch your next man, so I don't care, like a ghost in the fog, I like cold in the dark, I travel and light a blanket up, not a rap for my sin, I know not a thing, I cop when you can, I watch your next man alive, I travel and light a blanket up, not a rap for my sin, no not a thing, cop when you can, I watch your next man alive.
So now on to burnouts. People, there's not much I need to tell you here. There's a few pointers I'll give you that'll help you get the back tire spinning, but once you get that much, that's the battle's won. Fighting the checkbook, now that's another one. Best advice you can have is go to your local dealer, hit his garbage bin and just rate it for anything that has some tread on it. Listen to what I tell you here, have fun, enjoy yourself, you're not gonna get hurt. It's no big deal if you fall off doing a burnout because you're not really moving. Give it a crack, see how you get on. You just want to lock that front brake. 2 fingers, 1 finger, whatever's more comfortable, just so you can have some movement on your throttle. First gear, stand up, take the weight off the back of the bike. Rev it up into the power and then just let that clutch out while keeping the front brake locked. So now you got the back wheel spinning. Now you can play with the revs a little bit, move the bike left to right. That's all there is to it. Nothing much really, just keeping that front wheel locked is the key though. Keeping that brake nice and tight. So now you know how to break the back wheel loose. Next stage in the rolling burnout is actually creeping the front wheel along. All you're going to do is let a little pressure off that front brake, just so the front wheel starts to creep along. Then you can kind of walk along and just push the bike along. Keep the back wheel spinning the whole time, but just walk along, just get comfortable, feel a bike moving around but underneath you. So, break the back wheel loose. Now just let off the front brake a little bit. The bike will start to creep forward, see? Now just walk along with it. Just creep it along. You're just walking along. It might feel a little bit awkward at first, but you're just letting off the front brake a little bit. Now to end it, just pull the clutch in, and that's it. Nothing to it. All right, now you can break the back wheel loose. You can creep the front tire along and just walk along with it. Now you're going to actually stand up on the foot pegs and just start to roll along with the bike. So I'm going to break the back tire loose. Start to creep the bike along. Walk along with it. 1 foot up. So you're just going to roll along. Slow idle speed. Get steady on the front brake. And let that clutch out. You don't want to be on the clutch at all. Steady revs, steady front brake, looking out over the front wheel. You can go till your back tire pops or till you get bored with it.
Like a ghost in the fog, I like cool in the dark. I travel and light a blanket up, night a wrap for my sin. I know not a thing I caught when you can't watch your next man alive.
Now the hardest part about doing a circle burnout is finding an attractive woman that'll stand in the middle of the road for you. Once you find that, it's the same, roll along, break the back tire loose, and then just weight your left foot peg.
Cross the county line with a piece on the dash and a case full of cash. To a sleepy town and stop living free in anonymity. Gonna drag me down, but I cover my trail, won't end up in jail. These are violent times, but show me your class. I pop a gap in your ass. Son of dash, a case full of cash. You stop living free, anonymity. A cover my trail, won't end up in jail again. A piece on a dash, a case full of cash. You stop living free, anonymity. A cover my trail, won't end up in jail again. I'm gonna see the sunrise today. Well, I'm gonna make it shine.
Remember, if the drunks can do it outside the bar on Friday night, so can you. Give it a shot.
Is this mine? Oh, mine. Ha! See the sunrise today, and I'm gonna make it shine.
So remember, practice makes perfect. Don't try too much too soon.
Now I'm moving and learning and I'm taking my time. I'm learning to live both sides of the line. I know passive, aggressive, make me for the progressive, just like Jackie Brown. The last cat down. Now I burn through my days, too cool for school. Drop getting praised with the Miramax blues. Yeah, they cut the deal, roast you for real. Soon as take us make cars, they bust you over snake eyes. I don't wanna alarm you, wanna fake out a snake out.